picture. Really the hottest nigga, you gon' respect this lava. I'm shooting it if I pull it, boy, make sure you want this drama. I bring it to you like it's Law and Order SVU. Turn you to a vegetable, now you look good inside a soup. Family come from Bishopville, but I grew up in that Bronx Zoo where they shoot you dead in the street and then dance all on top of you and I do what I got.
It's going to be piggybacking off of yesterday's episode. If you ain't seen it, go check it out. Stories about inmates killing their own cellmate. It's some of the ways that these individuals trick these guys in prison to get killed is pretty damn wild. I told a story the other day where an inmate said that he was going to show his cellmate a magic trick. Told him to put the blindfold on. When he did, he smashed him to death with a brick. I've been saying it since day one. You can't trust nobody in prison, not even your damn cellmate. You don't know what type of shit he's got going on. But once again, this is going to be more along the lines of awareness. You know, a lot of people don't see these type of stories come across their mainstream media. So let's get right into it, and hopefully this opens up some people's eyes to the reality of lockup. So the first story is pretty sad, and unfortunately we're traveling back down to Alabama. 30-year-old Denarius Smith was killed October 1st during a prison fight after another inmate stabbed him at William E. Donaldson Correctional Facility. This prison,
you already know
about this. I've done probably 6 stories of individuals getting stabbed to death from there. Now this is where it gets sad. It says according to his parents and the agency that oversees the prison, during the fight, Denarius Smith, also called DL by his parents, had cried out for help, but there was no guards.
No disrespect, but I wouldn't let nobody call me DL. That would not be my nickname in the hood. Pelham Parkway, hey, what's good? What's good? Pelham Parkway got the bitches. I know that. I know that.
Around. The father said that he...
But if you just checking in, man, go ahead and hit that like button on the way in. You feel me? This is Lockdown 23-1, live reaction. Inmate beat to death with a fan for not helping kill another.
Learned about his son dying in prison through a text message. And there's a screenshot of these text messages of the inmate talking to the father. And I'm going to read them to you, but just keep in mind, you know, people are probably asking and wondering, how does this guy got a cell phone? There's a ton of contraband cell phones in prison nowadays, so it happens every single day.
Yeah, guys in prison got cell phones all the time. It's not even like hard to do.
Inmates.
That's why they should just let them have it. Like, I don't know why they
got a better cell phone than you. But the text message is pretty sad. It says, "Hey, Pops, this is DL, just checking back. We've been on lockdown, so inmate doing no work, making the police work, and they're starving us." That was on Wednesday, 7:43 p.m. His dad didn't reply back until they messaged him on Saturday. His dad had no idea that was going to be his last text message. But the next text came Saturday morning at 6:29 a.m. Yo, ain't this DL's people? Yes, somebody killed him about 2 hours ago. What? Y'all got a lawsuit for real because they had no security in the dorm when it happened. And he sat in here and lost too much blood before they got him out of here. Tell them y'all want copies of the camera. You might have to get a lawyer to get the vid.
Yo, talk about a benefit of having a camera, bro. I mean, a phone. He got bodied, and then someone else got the phone, which happens. Things happen to inmates. They end up getting moved. Other people end up with the phone. And dude told them, like, yo, man, y'all people got killed. Y'all got a lawsuit on y'all hands.
But let them know y'all ain't gonna just let this happen and do nothing. Can you do me a favor and text me anything that happens? I'll make sure that they don't know about your phone. I don't know what happened. I was asleep. I heard commotion. I saw DL run by my bed covered in blood, and people was hollering for police to get him into the infirmary. But the officers was nowhere to be found, and he lost too much blood. What did they say when you called up here? I talked to the only chaplain. He said they're doing an investigation. You know, I have all daughters, but I can't even imagine, you know, getting a text message like that saying that my son just bled out in the cell. The first thing that would go through my mind is what was going through his. Probably hoping and praying that his parents could save him somehow. They definitely had to been on his mind in the last moments of his life. My condolences go out to the family, and prayers go out to every solid inmate locked up in the Alabama Department of Corrections. In every prison across this country, really, but Alabama. Next up, we're traveling to a Michigan prison, and this story is still under investigation. They have not released any of the inmates' names yet, but they did tell exactly what happened to the people that died. So let's go ahead and break this situation down. Information officer Chris Gott said it started after breakfast. An inmate on his way back from the chow lines began to attack another prisoner. They were heading back to their housing unit when he began to stab the prisoner multiple times in the back, arm, and face. The prisoner, who was stabbed about 6 times, was treated at a hospital and released. Now this is where it gets crazy. The guy that got stabbed up and sent to the hospital, they went to his cell to try to find any kind of contraband that might have been in there. When they got to this cell, it turns out that his cellie was stabbed to death as well. So they were probably trying to get both of them at the same time. One probably went to chow, the other one probably slept in. One guy hit him up coming back from the chow hall probably around the same time the other guy was getting stabbed to death. Unreal. Those guys probably ran up a deep debt. Keep in mind, this is just my 2 cents, though, merely speculation. You know, I've been to prison a few times, so I try to break down these situations in my own head and think about why or how it could have happened like that. But it doesn't take a genius to tell that, it was probably planned out, and both cellmates got hit up the same morning. Sources say that the inmate killed was a 28-year-old serving 3 to 20 year sentence. Macomb County Prison.
Damn.
Hopefully I pronounced that right. Next up, we're traveling to Georgia. A Georgian mother is grieving her son who was killed in Macon State Prison this week. Hopefully I pronounced that one right. Some of these prison names are a bit difficult. The worst phone call ever in possible history, I think, to hear. I know it happens every day to people, but this has to be something I never thought would happen to my child. She says people inside the jail tell her his cellmate beat him to death with a metal pole. They say he was found hours later with his body organs showing. What does that even mean?
Damn.
How many was shown and how? Did he do all that with them?
He was found with his organs showing, bro. How long was he beating on this man, bro?
Metal pole, if so, then he had been beating him for a long time. And once again, people are complaining that the person was not checked on enough by the guards. Look, even if they were to do rounds every 30 minutes like they're supposed to, or every 20, every 15, they're still going to find a window to kill someone. But at the same time, guards should be doing their rounds consistently because it could prevent a lot of things from happening, or maybe even finding someone before they bleed out too fast. But man, my condolences go out to his mother. She also said that he was due to be released next month. I brought a lot of stuff away about people dying right before they go home. Look, I've been saying this since the beginning of the channel as well.
Niggas really be haters, yo. You really be on your way home and they'll flock you before you go home, bro. See you to the big man upstairs.
Prison with lifers, and I went home from that prison. So take it from me. I'm not saying this guy was doing any of this. I'm just saying some of these individuals were probably gloating and parading around that they were about to go home in front of the wrong one. Be very careful with your release date in prison, especially if you're in a higher level prison, and a lot of those individuals ain't going home. They'll get jealous and try to trick you up before you leave, or even snatch up your life. Keep that shit to yourself. I walked out that gate, people probably thought I had another 10 years left. Where's old death going? I'm going home, dog. I didn't have 40 for real, fellas. I'm out of here. You gotta be released till tomorrow morning because it was too late. You're looking back at the inmates like, God, that'd be a horrible situation, wouldn't it? But yeah, keep that shit to yourself. If you're about to go home, don't let nobody know. Next up, we're traveling to Warren County, Ohio, to speak about an individual by the name of Joel Drain. Death penalty upheld for Ohio prisoner accused of killing fellow inmate.
First of all, run this back real quick.
Warren County, Ohio, to speak about an individual by the name of Joel.
Run this back real quick. You see this? You see this white boy right here? See this white boy right here? Let me bring this up, son. See this white boy right here? This is a scary motherfucker right here, man. I know you ain't supposed to judge a book by its cover. Anybody with a tattoo directly on their chin like that is a dangerous fucking person. I'm just saying.
Drain. Death penalty upheld for Ohio prisoner accused of killing fellow inmate. And this inmate has a huge transformation. I think he might have possibly gotten turned out. I got a clip of this individual.
And he got turned out?
That's ill. Going through the trial for the murder.
That's ill.
And then I'm going to show you what he looks
like
now. What he's done to himself and what he's done to another inmate. Now, let me say one more thing before I press play. This is actually kind of an update. I touched into this story in the past, but didn't really have any information on it. Usually, most cases that I've seen in a courtroom like this, they get like 30 years added to their sentence and they go straight to a level 10. Not really a level 10, but the maximum security level that they have at that state.
You acknowledge receipt of a copy of the indictment. We would waive any defects, time, place, manner of service. We would waive the reading of the statute, penalties, and right. We are tendering a plea of not guilty to all counts in an indictment. Furthermore, Your Honor, we are tendering a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity, and we have already filed a written plea indicating a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. Your Honor, counsel is requesting that evaluation occur. We'd ask that occur at the Court Diagnostic and Treatment Center, both for competency and for criminal responsibility. I have received partial Rule 16 discovery. I will sign an entry indicating the same. As to the issue of bond, we would defer to the court's discretion.
Record should reflect that Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Alex Treese is present on behalf of the state of Ohio. Court has received Mr. Sass. You filed this morning at 10:53 the plea of not guilty.
I'm really like not ever going back to prison. For one, I'm not a rat, so if I do something and I get caught up, I'm not gonna tell, and I mess around and get told on, and I mess around and spend mad years locked up and be tight. But also, I realized a long time ago that I'm not meant to be like these people. Like this man right here, I'm not meant to be like him. That's just not for me. I'm meant to really be somebody.
By reason of insanity, a motion for competency evaluation pursuant to 2945.37 and 2945.371 of the revised code.
So he's pleading not guilty due to insanity, and the judge set up a date for him to be tested.
They're not gonna give him that
insanity. They found him
plea.
mentally competent because he went to a regular prison. Obviously, he killed his cellmate, and that's what we're gonna be talking about right now. But this is Mr. Joel Drain before he goes into an Ohio prison. Joel Drain's new name is Victoria Drain.
Oh!
Victoria Drain has had a wild ride in the state penitentiary. She was put into the psych block at one point for self-harm.
Why did he say she? This is a man.
Didn't complete the task.
That is a boy, Damon.
But still tried all the same. And somewhere down the road, she met a guy by the name of Mr. Richardson. She tried to get this guy to help her murder another inmate.
Yo, look at him. Who wants to be like having to live with people like this? Don't do the crime.
At first,
don't do the crime,
help, and then he got cold feet. Well, Miss Victoria Drain didn't like that very much while she was sitting in the cell doing drugs. She thought.
Hold on, let me run it back so you know what we're talking about.
Tough. Didn't complete the task, but still tried all the same. And somewhere down the road, she met a guy by the name of Mr. Richardson. She tried to get this guy to help her murder another inmate.
First of all, he looked like he did meth, cocaine, crack, and shrooms, and paint all together at the same time every day for the last 20 years.
At first, he was down to help, and then he got cold feet. Well, Miss Victoria Drain didn't like that very much while she was sitting in the cell doing drugs. She thought that he was going to go tell the person they were planning to kill everything that was going on. So Victoria hit the man in the head with a fan motor, stabbed him in the neck and torso with a pencil, strangled him, and then stepped on his throat. And for those of you...
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, that's ruthless. That's some movie shit, bro. Did you hear what they just said? I need to run it back for you.
Everything that was going on.
I need to run it back for you. I didn't hear that.
Head with a fan motor, stabbed him in the neck and torso with a pencil, strangled him, and then stepped on his throat. And for those of y'all that don't know, they give out fans in a lot of prisons across the country, and these fan motors are diesel. I mean, they're probably the size of a softball, but they're completely solid. They have this huge metal rail in the middle that spins the fan, and a lot of people can break them out and make shanks, whatever the case is. But fans, they're a high commodity, so not too many people are trying to break them things down, especially in prisons with no AC. But this is a great learning experience because when you get to prison, you might see someone turn from Joel to Victoria, or you might just see Victoria and never see the Joel side. Don't be sleeping on nobody. Obviously, anybody can take someone's life. And the major update, once again, on that case is the death penalty will be upheld. If I were to guess, the inmate that died probably has a lot of family out here in the streets that cared for him.
Yeah.
Usually the courts would definitely agree with the death penalty, especially if there's a lot of people on the outside trying to get it as well. But that's that. Another little rude awakening for anybody that thinks prison's just filled with Scrabble, chess, and spades. I mean, it does have that stuff, but it definitely has murders and cheeks being taken as well.
All right. So before I move on to the next video, I just want to, this is my second video reacting to Lockdown 23-1. Lockdown 23-1, this guy right here, he's polished. I like the way he does his videos. He's real presentable. He's further ahead than me when it comes to, you know, equipment and stuff like that. He knows what he's doing. So he deserves every dollar he gets. He deserves all the credit that he get. This is a real good channel, and they got a lot of information. He really does his thing like a real, you know, journalist.